Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video, and this is Lenovo's Tab 3 730X, and I've been using this thing for 2 years now, and in today's video I'll be giving you my thoughts on this particular device. This Lenovo Tab 3 730X was released about 5 years ago in the industry. I've been using it for 2 years now. I've had some good experiences as well as bad experiences with this thing. I'll be talking about this device in particular, about the cameras, specifications, performance, display, and everything else in this video. So as usual, let's start off with the design of the Tab 3 730X. It has a matte back, neat and clean design. This matte back, it doesn't allow any reflections like any other device having a glossy finish or a glass back. So the matte black design is something that I personally love, and this one has that. It has the volume button and the power button both on the same side, as well as one standard camera on the top left corner. It also has a SIM card slot. I bought the cellular version, so it has a SIM card slot as well as a storage expansion slot to expand the storage of this device. So it's got bezels on all sides of the screen, a main speaker or a earpiece that you could use for phone calls if you've picked the cellular version. It also has a selfie camera located towards its left. Now, speaking of the speakers, the speaker here is just one common speaker, which is the earpiece. So there are no speaker grills anywhere on the device. So the common earpiece that you use to talk on phone calls serves as the main speaker also. That way it isn't really clear. I'll get to that in detail while I'm talking about the speaker. Now, unfortunately, there is no Touch ID or Face ID. Remember, none of that technology existed in devices at that time. So this one doesn't have any of that. It just has a power button. You got to use a pin, a passcode, or a pattern, which is fine. We've been using that a long time ago before Touch ID and Face ID came into devices. But again, yes, no technology like that. Still the basic standard pattern or pin code. Now, this thing is surprisingly small for a tablet. Remember, alongside, I've also been using iPads along with this device, and iPads are huge, right? I've never used an iPad mini, and so this one is comparatively a lot smaller. So for me, it just feels like a toy as a tablet. But like I said, you could also use this as a smartphone since there is a SIM card slot. So if you're using it as a smartphone, I wouldn't recommend you use it as a smartphone because it's just too big. A smartphone has to be small enough and convenient to carry around everywhere you go. You need to have large pockets or large hands. It isn't the best as a smartphone, but you could carry it around as a mini tablet anywhere you go since there is cellular also for this thing. Apart from that, yes, it is smaller than I expected it to be when I bought this device. Okay, now let's get to the display, right? Because that is the most important part in a device that you look for. So the display in this thing, it is unfortunately not par with other devices in same price ranges. Which is fine, it's not the best display available in the industry. It has a pixel density of 170 ppi, resolution of 600 by 1024 pixels. So the numbers are great, but the experience that you get is even worse. So it's not the best display. Again, watching videos isn't really great because it is an IPS LCD display. Again, it's not an OLED, QLED, LED display like you get in devices today. So the most important part, which is the display, is not up to par with other devices. So again, it's not impressive at all. Not worth buying for the display if you really are particular about having a great display. Now, the camera is also poor, and as you might have noticed with the design of this device, it comes with only one standard camera. There is no telephoto, there is no ultra-wide camera like you see in devices today. It's just one standard 2 megapixel camera that serves as a photo and video camera. So the photos and videos aren't great at all. I've tried them under artificial light and natural sunlight, and you can see a samples right in front of you right now. The camera isn't the best. I still wouldn't use this for recording videos or for clicking any photos at all, but it's just not the best camera available in the industry. You see, there is no image and video stabilization in this device. Neither is there a flash feature or any additional feature to make the photos and videos look good. So additionally, you're just getting raw content from the camera that the camera sees itself. So it's not the best. Again, there is no additional features just to make it look good. And that's what you expect from a device in this price range. Now, even though the camera and display are deal breakers, the battery is pretty impressive. So it comes with a 3000 milliamp hour battery, which is still fine, for the stuff that you can do on this device. Considering the fact that the display and the cameras are bad, you can't really do any intense work. Neither can you game on this because the processor is also pretty old. It's running Android v6. So some of the games that we have today aren't even compatible with this device. But otherwise, the 3500 milliamp hour battery is pretty impressive. I've used this thing for 2 years now. There are no battery problems so far. I've never done any intense work on this device. So for whatever I use this device for, the battery life is good. So I got to charge it only once in 2 to 3 days for what I do. But again, if you're going to use this thing for any intense work, which you may not be able to do because of the limitations of this device, you may have to charge it a little more often than usual. Alright, now let's come to the speakers of the Tab 3. Now, one really unexpected thing that I got in this device is that there is no speaker grill anywhere on the device. Today's devices come with speaker grill stereo quality audio, but this one still uses that earpiece located on the top notch as your primary speaker. Now, of course, a lot of people move around with tablets and smartphones everywhere, so you still use earphones and headphones. But for those who don't use earphones and headphones and still depend on the speaker of this, it still uses that earpiece that is on the notch of the device, and the audio quality is completely poor. It's just not the best one available. It's something that's really unexpected from a device like this. I never really liked it. I never really used the speaker a lot though. I always used headphones when I had to. Otherwise, I would just use my iPad for what I had to do on this. Okay, so now when it comes to my overall conclusion of the device, I would say it is subpar but acceptable. You see, not a lot of us still use default speakers on our smartphones or tablets. Many of us use earphones or headphones, but there are still people who expect great speakers from the devices that they're using instead of using headphones or earphones for great audio quality. And at the same time, the display being poor is the most unreadable display you could see or use ever in your life under natural sunlight. Of course, under artificial light, it is readable and manageable, so the display isn't really great. So again, watching movies, videos isn't really great on this device. But otherwise, battery life is great. So if you're looking for a device that has great battery life, you just want to listen to audio using earphones, you just want it as your carry tablet, you just want some cellular network with you, then the device is good, and at the price of $150 for which you can get this thing, it still is a great device. So that was it. That was Lenovo's Tab 3 730X. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.